Hello, my name is Xiong. I am an undergraduate student at the University of Liverpool in the United Kingdom. The paper I will be presenting today is titled Chinese Online Audience Aesthetics Change on Female Characters in Media Products from 2018 to 2023. After a brief introduction to the paper, a description of its originality will be shown. Using the participant observation method and content analysis, the use and graduation theory, and the social learning theory, this paper explores the aesthetic change in the image of women among online viewers from 2018 to 2023, identifies the progressive and lagging nature of such change driven by both epidemic and the development of the times, and after analyzing them draws out the characteristics of and the reasons behind these changes. In the end, the paper concludes by providing recommendations with improvements from several perspectives. Now I will describe a few of the regionality of this paper. First, it analyzed the changing aesthetic of Chinese online viewers in the context of the dynamic macro context of recent years, rather than only basically taking the macro social, cultural, and socio-economic progress and the long-term impact of historical social events as the background. For example, among the reference sources cited in this paper, only those social feminist movements that took place in the West during the 19th and 20th century were considered. But for little more than times, there are few studies that directly relate to the social impact of the COVID-19 epidemic to analyze the aesthetic change in the image of a specific group of viewers in a particular country towards a specific group of people, and this study takes them as a background direction, taking into account the impact of China's unique epidemic embargo policy, like the lockdown and historical culture, which is a traditional domestic culture of great uniqueness and influence. For example, along with the selection of platforms such as Weibo and other platforms where Chinese netizens are mainly active, the huge stimulus of China's lockdown policy to increase the audience for online media products was set as one of the important elements of the audience segmentation analysis, as the national phenomenon with a high degree of collectivism is different from other countries, especially from the West. Another point of originality is that the article ultimately offers advice not only from the point of view of the producer and the viewer, but also specifically from the point of view of feminist activism in the Chinese online communities, suggesting how to look more objectively as development of the change of the new wave, like the big ceremony dramas that popular among Chinese in online communities these years, as well as how to more effectively propagate feminism in order to avoid the misleading process of its dissemination in China through the rhetoric of commercialization, which is one of the factors contributing to the solid lagging behind in the aesthetics of the new online viewers. And to explain why this paper's originality is in a high level, first, not only does the analysis explore the unique underlying logic of the phenomenon, but it's also more targeted by incorporating some of the more infrequently considered national factors. The inclusion of national policy elements and the traditional culture makes the audience and the phenomenon unique, and both of it linked to a deeper causes. As a result, it allows the overall study to make up for the lack of previous research in a particular direction and to build on deeper factors of influence. Furthermore, in the view of the second point of originality mentioned earlier, the study process recommendation for feminist activism that are more appropriate to the Chinese internet situation in terms of the construction of feminist activities mentally and practical action, and concludes with an improved methodology that is practical and characteristic of the new media age. So in conclusion, in this paper, influential factors that are easily overlooked or not used because of their specifically are targeted to analyze the aesthetic change in the audience image of women in a given context, and to advise is to giving producers, audience, and film's activities respectively on the dimensions of improvement. That's all for my presentation. Thanks for listening.